Hi there, everyone. Welcome to The Daily Gardener. I'm your host, Jennifer Ebling. It's August 6th. Well, the time we've waited for all year is here. It's time to harvest tomatoes. I want to give you just a quick word of caution when it comes to harvesting your tomatoes. As gardeners, sometimes we wait too long to harvest them. Sometimes that can be unintentional, like we're on vacation or we just forget about it. Other times, we think that letting them stay on the vine is best. But if you wait too long, the tomatoes can split. This is especially true with heirlooms. If you're growing heirloom tomatoes, it's best to let them ripen in a cool, dark place. Don't be tempted to put them on a sunny window or countertop. They won't appreciate the view or the attention. Remember, heirloom tomatoes are fragile. The price for their fantastic flavor? Lots of TLC. Here's today's Brevities. Today is the birthday of the horticulturalist Frank Cabot, who was born on this day in 1925. It's hard to believe that we lost Frank just 8 years ago. He was a tremendous gardener, and we owe him a debt of gratitude for his work in founding the nonprofit, the Garden Conservancy. Cabot lived until the age of 86, and he spent his life perfecting his 20-acre English-style garden and estate. His masterpiece garden is known as Les Quatre Vents, or the Four Winds, and it's been in his family for over 100 years. There's a wonderful video of an interview that Martha Stewart did with Frank. He tells about the moon bridge being a copy of a moon bridge from Seven Star Park in China. He said, "I'm a great believer in plagiarizing. I think all gardeners are. This garden really represents that. It's just ideas that were gleaned from other sources." And today is the birthday of Andy Warhol, who was born on this day in 1928. Warhol painted a series called Flowers that debuted in 1964. The series of paintings was unique. He found the original photo in a magazine called Modern Photography. All the canvas that Warhol used for the Flowers series was square. He only painted on 24 and 48-inch canvases. In these paintings, Warhol applied his masterful use of color, making the flowers much more vibrant against a dark background. Although Warhol's flowers have been compared to Van Gogh's bouquets or Matisse's cutouts, it seems no one could agree what kind of blooms were featured in the flowers. The New York Herald Tribune identified the blossoms as anemones. The Village Voice said they were nasturtiums. Other publications said they were pansies. There was no way to tell. The series of prints showed the same flower over and over again in different color combinations and backgrounds. Warhol once said, "My fascination with letting images repeat and repeat manifests my belief that we spend much of our lives seeing without observing." My favorite Andy Warhol quote is one gardeners will love. He said, "I always notice flowers." On this day in 1954, the botanist David Fairchild passed away. He was 85 years old. In terms of accomplishments, Fairchild hit it out of the botanical park. He was single-handedly responsible for the introduction of more than 200,000 plants to the United States, including pistachios, mangoes, dates, nectarines, soybeans, and flowering cherries. Looking back over Fairchild's life, it's clear he had a few lucky breaks that helped change the trajectory of his life. For instance, on his first collecting expedition, he met a world traveler and wealthy benefactor named Barbara Latham, who funded many of his adventures. And in 1905, he married Mary Ann Bell. His father-in-law was none other than Alexander Graham Bell. The next time you're in Florida, stop by the Fairchild Tropical Botanic Garden in Coral Gables, which is filled with many of the plants that were collected by Fairchild, and it's named in his honor. In Unearthed Words, today we celebrate the birthday of Alfred Lord Tennyson, who was born on this day in 1809. Today, you can take a tour of Tennyson's walled garden on the Isle of Wight. Both his home and the garden have been restored to their former glory, and the property gets top ratings on TripAdvisor. Here's Tennyson's most quoted sentiment. It's a favorite among gardeners. If I had a flower every time I thought of you, I could walk through my garden forever. Today's book recommendation is Flora's Dictionary, The Victorian Language of Herbs and Flowers by Kathleen Gipps. Oh, to live in Victorian times when the meaning of a flower had so many more possibilities than just I love you. This book is a delight for the gardener who enjoys learning the difference between a red rose and a white one during this time in history. In addition to flowers, this book even shares the meanings of fruits and vegetables. For today's garden chore, remember, if you want to keep growing, keep sowing. Now is the time to sow more seeds to grow more leafy greens, arugula, spinach, and lettuce, and more vegetables that mature quickly like radish, dill, and turnip. This time of year, I like to reseed kale as well. There's nothing like eating young kale shoots grown in the fall. Finally, here's something sweet to revive the little botanic spark in your heart. When I was researching Tennyson, I came across a story about a fan of his named Professor John Stuart Blackie. Blackie was a Scottish scholar known for his wit and kindness, as well as his flamboyance. In 1864, in one of his letters, Blackie described what it was like meeting Tennyson. He said, "Head Jovian, eye dark, pale face, black flowing locks like a Spanish ship captain or a captain of Italian brigands, something not at all common and not the least English." Long after, in his old age, Blackie spoke of his visit fondly, and a few flowers that he had gathered from Tennyson's garden were carefully pressed and affixed to his copy of Tennyson's work In Memoriam. Thanks for listening to The Daily Gardener, and remember, for a happy, healthy life, garden every day. The Daily Gardener is produced weekdays in lovely Maple Grove, Minnesota. You can find complete show notes over at thedailygardener.org, and be sure to share the show with your garden friends. You can find The Daily Gardener on all your favorite social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest, and of course, Facebook. While you're over at Facebook, don't forget to join the Daily Gardener community. Just search for these 3 words, Daily Gardener Community. The group will pop right up, and then request to join. Finally, I want to thank my team at Podfly Productions, where my fabulous editor is Eric Begay. Have a great day in the garden, and we'll see you tomorrow.